Dude, we're gonna have to issues.
Wyatt, shut up. Shut up. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the All 22 podcast. Glad to have you back. Today we have our specialist, -1. Shane could not make it. Our kicker, former basketball and soccer player. I don't even know. I would have loved to have one just to ask him like how he ended up as a kicker, but I know he wasn't a kicker originally. Just go down the line, say your name, what ball you kick, and how you kick it, and we'll go from there.
I'm Wyatt and I'm the punter.
Thank you.
I'm Jason Hovis. I'm the long snapper, so I don't kick any balls.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Which you've been on previously on 3 or 5 episode, and then
And I'm Alex Mullen. I'm the kicker.
And then you were on.
And I was on one of the first episodes here on campus.
Episode when we were here, yeah, exactly. So, another week, another preparation for a game. We've had a pretty good week of practice. I thought overall we've been pretty intense today. We got real intense.
Yeah.
Us four just had to watch because it was 2 minutes.
2 minutes at the end.
And I'm hurt, and you guys usually just move. You guys are usually chain gang.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
chain gang?
I was chain gang with
Chain gang.
Wyatt.
I'm
Gang.
the line of scrimmage marker.
Put the mic up to your mouth. Jeez.
Yeah, Wyatt.
You wanna
Come
say
on,
that
man.
again?
Sorry, man.
Can't be everyone's first day.
Yeah, jeez, Pete's. But a little intense practice, but it was a good one. We need it. We got Muhlenberg Saturday at 12 o'clock. So we're excited. Another
Yeah.
week, another game, another week to prove ourselves to everybody. Cause screw everybody else.
Yeah.
F it. Drop Smash Montana. Let's run it.
Wristband one.
Yeah, something like that. So, to get into our conversation of specialists, to be for real, a lot of people don't treat you like actual football players. I kind of take it. You guys are, you're called the specialist. You kind of just sometimes just stand at practice. I tend to see. Just, kind of walk me through being, a guy that only does, specialist stuff. Kind of, I don't know, like day-to-day practice.
Why don't you
stuff.
start off, Hovis?
Obviously our practices are a lot different than what it's like for most of the guys. We get a script from Coach P every day, and it has, he writes on the side, what periods we're free, and then, what periods we'll have, we'll go through the team, special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to that, we'll know what blocks, we have free, and in that time, we'll kind of be, we'll do some drills or work, whatever we need to do before, getting into that team period. So it's, kind of like indie for us, but it's just a lot, I don't want to say, not as organized, but, not as, we're being
Scripted.
told what to do, what drills we're running. It's just kind of on us, whatever we feel we need to work leading up to the team period to be able to perform our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So Wyatt,
Yeah.
why do you like to kick the ball very high and very far? Because you are a very good punter. I do want to say so. Weren't you kind of up there nationally for a little bit?
Yeah,
there
the
or
first
something like
couple
that?
weeks I was ranked top 10, then I slowly dropped down after the one game.
Well, start kicking harder. Come on.
Well, I'm
Come on.
trying, man. It's just sometimes the ball doesn't fly the way I want it to.
Yeah, man. It happens. So with you two in high school, you guys also played, other positions. What,
Yeah.
you were
Mhm.
D-line.
Yeah, I played O-line for a little bit, and then I was edge rusher as well.
And then, you went to a small Huntington or whatever up here school, so you played everything.
Yeah. I played 5 positions. I played wide receiver, DB, sometimes safety, punter, and kicker.
Oh, that's fun. So, what's it like transitioning from, playing all these other positions, and now you're kind of just I'm just, because here's the big thing, we play as a regular positional player. You play all the game, right?
Mhm.
So you can kind of move on to the next play a little quicker if you have a bad play. You guys, you're on the field so little,
Mhm.
but every single play you're on the field is a big play.
Mhm.
So I don't know, walk me through that, how mentally that kind of goes through, your head.
Yeah, it's definitely a different approach. I mean, I know when I would, play O-line and D-line, you're kind of amped up most of the time. You're always kind of jittery, ready to go. Like you said, there's just play after play after play.
That adrenaline can build up.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing I noticed when I started long snapping, which is you have to kind of be able to control your emotions and your nerves, because what we do is so specific and like detail oriented, like where if like one little thing is off, we're not gonna do good pretty much. So you have to be like calm and aware. And like for me, it's weird too, because like when we go to punt, I try to like slow down my breathing and like my heart rate. And when I hear Seth say set, it gets like really still because everyone's like waiting for me to go. And so it's really weird. It's like super still. And like in my mind,
once they did the set,
it's on me. And like I'm in my mind, I'm like, I can go whenever I want. Like they're all waiting on me. So it gets like really still, and like I'll snap it, and then it's just like a blur after that. Because then like there's that second part for when I cover downfield is kind of like that like momentary adrenaline rush again.
It's like, oh shoot, I can.
I gotta run down and like make the tackle. And like sometimes I'll get to the side, like I won't know what happened after I snap it. Like I just kind of it's just a blur. It's just a blur after that happens so fast.
Yeah. And just a disclaimer, us other football players might make fun of yours, but we could never do what you guys do. Like to be for real, like I've tried kicking field goals and punting, and I did a little bit of long shot. I can't do it. Like, you guys are one of a kind.
Yeah.
You guys are really special. So you guys should know that. You guys,
appreciate
you guys are
it.
special.
Thanks.
We got people coming in practice even before practice when we're doing all our pre-practice stuff. We're warming up, getting stretched out, kind of getting just some work in. And we have guys coming up being like, "Oh, I can try kicking real quick." Like especially Dante, every single day he comes out and is like, "Hey coach Hicks, do you mind if I get some kicks in? I think I could do it today." He comes out there. 9 out of 10 kicks he makes is like shanked so far right or so far left that it's like just funny to watch. No pun intended with that.
But yeah, I couldn't do it. One day J3 came out and like literally towed a ball like what it was like 35 yards.
Yeah.
Insane.
And then he couldn't do it again. Like I couldn't do it. So, props to you guys. But as we talk about Coach Hicks, I haven't interacted with him much. So walk me through, who Coach Hicks is.
I guess I'll start this one off.
You've been with him
you've
the
known him
I
the
have
longest.
So he wasn't on the staff originally, like going into last season. I think it was like week 3 or 4, close to like the mid-season point.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell me or our old kicker that they were hiring a kicking coach. Like he was just in the office one day, and like I went in as I normally do, grabbed the ball bag, camera, and like who's this guy? Like, and everyone was kind of confused. Like no one knew who he was, and I go down to the field and I'm starting stretching, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, like, are you Jason?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Bruce Hicks. I'm the new kicking coach." I was like, "Oh, like nice to meet you." I didn't know like they were even hiring anyone. It was a complete surprise. Like just walked
They
down.
didn't ask you
No.
first? Like
They just
hey,
like
hey Hovis, can we hire you, coach?
like showed up.
No, I don't need one.
Yeah, he doesn't know much about long snapping, so he never really like works with me.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, oh, like, all right, we got a new coach. So, like, it was
Yeah.
just out of the blue. Walked down to practice one day, and he was kind of quiet at first, but I will say, and like. He is kind of quiet sometimes, but
He's
is one of
man.
the funniest people I know.
Most of the stuff he says is very out of pocket.
Yes.
You cannot-
be.
We will
I
keep this
asked-
PG.
I asked these guys for like a funny story, but then I'm like, I can't say that. Like, we can't say that.
I couldn't really think of it.
You did tell me one. He came down to practice.
Yeah, this was in camp this year.
It was like the second or third week of camp.
Yeah,
I
it was
think.
like kind of towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And one day I'm stretching and he walks past me. I did a double take. I looked down. He had his shoes on the wrong feet. He had his left shoe on his right foot, like vice versa. And I just started laughing. I didn't have the heart in me to tell him like your shoes are on your wrong feet. I don't know if he did it like
Did you wear him
intentionally.
like that
but-
the whole practice?
Yes.
No, he actually changed them at one point.
Oh.
I didn't.
okay.
I don't know when he did,
Like,
but
I
I
don't know how
looked
you
down.
would not like feel that.
Yeah,
Because it's curving the wrong way. Like, I don't
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. It beats me, but I was just like, I couldn't be the one to tell him.
Oh, what a,
And then for
what a
like
man.
3 or 4 practices after that, we always made sure and checked
Yeah,
to
we were
see if
checking
he
for
had
a
his
little bit.
shoes on the
We're
right
like,
feet.
They're on the right feet today. Yeah, he's awesome. He makes us laugh all the time. He makes practice pretty enjoyable for us, and there's a lot of comedic relief. He likes to mess with us a lot too.
He likes to
Yeah.
mess with Booer a lot too.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy, where did he play it?
Southern Hunter.
Southern Huntington.
Oh, so
He
why did
played.
you give
He
him so
played
much
Mountain
crap
Union.
then?
He used to coach at Juniata Valley, and like he's from the area.
So you're telling me he played at the same high school as Boer?
No.
No.
Coach
No.
Hicks coached for Mount Union and Juniata Valley, which those two teams played Southern Huntington.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like kind of rivals. So
Yeah.
So he gives
Yeah.
Boer a
Boer
bunch of
gets
crap.
on his case and
He
stuff.
said the one thing the one day I lost it. I will not repeat that, but I lost
It's
it.
like-
It was hilarious.
Yeah, he has like a lot of one-liners. Like you don't always like hear what he says because he's very quiet when he speaks. But like if you
Yeah.
hear what he says,
If you
like,
ever meet
yeah.
Coach Hicks, ask him what his favorite thing is at Burger King.
oh,
What his favorite thing from Burger King is.
yeah.
Just ask him. That's all I gotta say. Hopefully won't get in trouble
Nah.
for that, but
Even though he is kind of funny, he is as very, very nice person as well.
He's a
Like,
great coach.
he tells us all the time about his grandson who's kicking in his middle school team, I think.
No, I think it's younger than that.
Younger.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
But
he tells us almost every day about his grandson who's kicking, doing all these crazy things. Like he gets like some of his first field goals, some of his best PATs, and he shows us videos of stuff too. And it's like the amount of respect that he has for both us and his grandson, just to kind of like let us in on those kind of things, is just kind of really
very
cool.
good at what he does.
that's cool. But the real question is, we line up Oklahoma drill.
Oh
Coach Hikes,
no!
Coach Tread. Who we taking?
Coach Hicks versus Coach. See, it's funny because like Coach Hicks always makes jokes
Is it
like
Hicks or Hikes? I feel
Hicks.
so.
Hicks.
I've been
Yeah.
messing up name. Schroeder. I've been really bad with names lately. So
He always like
Hicks.
makes jokes like if someone like if we're on the sideline, say like someone's like running out of bounds and like runs past us, like he'll look at him and be like, "You don't want the smoke," or like he'll be like, "You're glad I didn't drop the shoulder on you." Like he like makes jokes like that all the time. He's got some fire in
I'd
him.
take him though over Tread.
I think all Coach Hicks has to do is drop one of his one-liners, and Coach Tread's on the
Just
ground.
be laughing.
Kill him with comedy and then,
Exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So to kind of move off some football stuff, what are the thoughts on Gilk in this group?
I was around when it was
We did
kind
ask
of
you so.
when it became big.
Yeah. So you were a Gilk guy.
Yeah, I'm a Gilk guy.
Wyatt, let me have it.
I've tried all 3 Gilks, and I do not like a single one of them.
You tried them though,
Yeah, I tried
and
them.
it's changed your life.
I tried them. I'm not gonna drink them again. I can't drink them again. It just doesn't sit right with me. I can't drink Gatorade and milk together.
Hey man, you tried. We'll
Yeah.
put it there.
The
A-
little
A for effort.
the little flakes of Gatorade that sit on top.
the best
Yeah,
part.
if you don't drink it fast enough,
Yeah.
it does get chunky. So
Yeah.
you just got go.
You
By
guys-
far, the best one is the red one for sure, but the other ones are just really bad.
Fruit punch and chocolate milk's my favorite.
You guys should have seen.
Chocolate milk?
Yeah, there's been chocolate.
It tastes
Gilk.
like raspberry, kind of like a
What?
raspberry.
Mhm.
Never
I had
had
a
it.
sip of it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
No, I would like it better than regular milk.
Yeah. No, you guys should have seen Buck last year for like. I
Oh,
don't think it was
did you
during
say like
spring
he
ball.
lived off of Gilk
Like,
or something?
When we were doing morning lifts, like for a pretty long stretch, he was drinking like a cup of Gilk every morning, like after lifts.
Oh my
and, like, after, like, he
gosh.
was like he loved it, and like it started out as a joke. Like I think we like, because I was there when we all tried it for the first time, and I don't know if we saw it like on TikTok or if it was like a joke or something. We're like, oh, Gilk, like that's funny, and we were like, no, like screw it, let's make it.
Try it.
And we're all like passing it around, and we're like, it's actually not bad. And Buck,
not terrible.
Buck loved it. Like
That's a Buck thing
he
to do,
took
man.
it
That is
and
a Buck
ran
thing.
with it.
You know he's making calendars, right? You hear
no,
that?
no way.
They're
Like
making-
fireman calendars.
I hope he said about it. He said he's the month of July. I really want that calendar.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
double calendar.
I have to get our
But
hands on that.
we're wearing beanies right now because
We
it is
are.
beanie season.
It's
upon
getting
us.
chilly outside.
And if you don't have a flow, you can't wear a
Yeah.
beanie. It shouldn't be allowed.
I got mine down in my
No,
room. Actually,
no,
wait.
you're not allowed to
hold
wear it.
up
You
a
gotta grow
second.
your
I think
hair.
I might have one in my bag.
No,
Nah, you gotta grow the hair out.
don't. I'm thinking about chopping mine a little bit,
Just
kind
going a
of
little
revert
short.
back to more the flowish age. But like I've been growing this out for 3 years now.
Like 3 years, no
3
haircut.
years. Like no serious haircut. No, I've had like a
maintenance cuts.
maintenance
Oh,
cuts
yeah.
and like a 2-inch trim. Oh my,
does.
that's
He's
more
got
like
Oh
no.
my god.
He looks like he's about to rob a bank.
I would not be scared if you robbed my bank. I wouldn't. Who's this door?
hold up.
Kicker and computer science major.
Yeah, I'm not
I ain't
putting a beanie on,
science.
man. Mm-mm.
No beanie for you?
No,
Why?
I don't wear them.
You don't wear them?
Nope.
I got the Eagles.
The only
beanie
ones
on,
that I like
too.
is one that have little balls on top of them.
I got a few of those at home. I can bring you one if you want.
Dude, if the specialist and Coach Hicks had matching beanies,
Oh, that'd
I'd
be
go
great.
crazy.
got our matching wristbands.
Dude, we can wear
Now
those
we
out
gotta
to
go
warm
for
ups in the
wristbands.
cold games.
What's that?
We could wear those out the warm-ups
Oh,
and the cold
jeez.
games.
I don't even want to know how much money it would
Oh
be.
my
for
gosh.
custom beanies.
Custom beanies.
That'd be a lot.
The
Maybe
wristbands.
that should be the next thing for
The
your merch.
wristbands.
You should get some all 22
All
pod
22.
beanies.
Dude, the
Pod
wristbands
beanies.
were cheap enough for us.
Yeah. We have specialist
is-
wristband. It says Juniata football and then PYD.
Which is our
Yeah,
little
I
inside
won't-
joke
I
on the
won't repeat
specialist.
it.
Only the specialists know, so we're not
Yeah,
allowed to
it's-
drop that.
Oh, yep. I know what it is because you told me.
Point
earlier.
your blank.
Yeah.
When you're
Your dice. I don't
when they're
know.
kicking.
That
when they're
doesn't really go
kicking.
for me as much. It goes for
Yeah,
Alan.
it's more for him.
Yeah.
Jeff actually came up with it. It was like what he started as, but it's been from like my whole time here. He's been.
And
saying
you're
every
old
year.
too.
Oh,
I do have
jeez.
to say-
Only 21.
That's
Shaq.
another
Oh
joke
my
that Coach
gosh.
X makes, that he
Yeah.
says Hovis is an old man already.
Yep.
You and Juju are so baby faced. Like when I first got here, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, these guys are like juniors,
Dude, every
sophomores.
year, like last
And it's
year,
like, seniors.
last year's freshman class, it was funny. I think it was Wolfley or Ben Umstead. They like when they found out last year that I was a junior, they're like, "Wait, you're a junior?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they all thought I was a freshman, but I was like really like antisocial and didn't
Oh.
talk to anyone. So like they thought I was a freshman and like that I like lived in these dorms, but they just never saw me because I never like went anywhere, did anything. I'm like, no, I'm actually a junior. And like same thing this year, like guys in your class like thought I was a sophomore or a freshman. I'm like,
that's what I thought. I'm like,
no,
I was probably the
I'm a
only one
senior.
because I
Yeah, you did
visited
visit
you.
with me, but
how many
yeah.
more years of eligibility do you have?
I do have one more after
Are you
this,
gonna-
so
You gonna take it?
it's still in the works. Still in the works.
Still in the
We're a lot of decisions to make coming up for me. Some things are definitely going to go into it, but we'll see how things play out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So as we wrap this up, any last remarks from you guys? Have the floor a little. Wyatt, you definitely have something to say. You're always talking schmack. You still have my management.
Oh,
book.
I was
You need to
gonna
get
I was
that
gonna
back.
bring that here today.
Well,
but
you didn't.
We were at
You
Baker.
didn't.
and I didn't get
Exactly.
to go back to my room.
You went back to your room after the
You don't
locker
even
room.
want it anyways.
I don't need it. I dropped the class. Say something. Come on, to the camera. For
Yeah,
the people.
he's been pretty quiet.
The
We'll
people
say
He's not
one
as
thing.
quiet
I
in
will say one
practice.
thing about Coach Hicks. He keeps me kind of cool. When I in practice when I start getting mad at myself, he calms me down pretty good.
You do.
Yeah.
I've seen you during some games. You get a little high.
Yeah.
You're like,
I can't even get you to calm down.
know.
And I
You're
get
a
right up
feisty
in your
little
face
guy.
and I'm like,
I say,
When are
calm.
you gonna take a
Good.
fake here? I need I don't know.
he's got an arm on him. He can throw one.
No, I'm talking run. Just take off and run.
Against Moravian, if we didn't have 15 yards for the first down, I
Yeah,
was
there was
running.
a lot of
that.
people thought he was
Dude,
going to get it. There's
I
a
was
few
screaming.
times this year where I was like running downfield and I actually looked back over my shoulder because like it was our rollout and I thought he was gonna like take off and run, and like I actually looked back because I was waiting to hear the thump, but I'd never heard it, and
Thump.
yeah,
I really
looked
thought I
back
was gonna
and-
get one against what team was that? I think McDaniel. We were like 4th
Yeah.
and 1, and it called a
Mhm.
red, but the edge didn't get blocked, so I couldn't run. So I just had to kick it real quick.
We need to get you one. I'd be electric.
I'd like
bro.
to run one. I really thought about the Raven one. I thought about that for a long time, till I almost hit the line of scrimmage when I kicked it.
So wait, I'm curious, like, because I mean you've been. It looks like you've been punting for a while. Like, did you just like learn how to punt one day, or like just like decide like,
You
oh,
just
I'm
pick
gonna
the
do
ball
it?
up
Like,
and kick
like
it.
how did the process work of you
'Cause you're-
becoming
oh,
a
it's
punter?
Beautiful.
Well, I've always I started
Yeah,
punting
that's
in midget football, like 5th
Like-
and 6th grade, because I liked kicking the ball.
Mhm.
I just like kicking it, so I
And you didn't
tried
want to play
doing
soccer.
that. No, I didn't. I don't like soccer. I'm not playing soccer.
that was my thing.
And so through junior high, I had to teach myself how to do it because none of the coaches would teach me how to do it, and I learned all myself in my backyard. And so I've been punting for probably 10 years. No, maybe 8 to 10 years now.
How'd you end up long snapping?
My story was kind of different. I mean, so I played center as a kid. So I kind of like was already somewhat used to like
Yeah.
like having that motion somewhat. And when I was in high school, I was pretty undersized, and I was JV my junior year too. And I knew I wanted to play college football. I was JV D line, and one spot we had open was long snapper, and I wanted to find my way on the field and try and play college football. So like one day I was just like I'm gonna teach myself how to long snap, and I was like okay at it at first, and like every day after practice I would get home and I'd go in my backyard for like an hour. I had like a screen in my backyard, and I would just snap at that and like just every day, and progressively got better. And then when camp rolled around my senior year, ended up getting the job, and then I had my first varsity start my senior year as a long snapper. Played all 10 games, and then after that season, I was like, emailing a bunch of coaches, sending out film, just trying to play anywhere. And I actually like didn't get any offers. Like no one was getting back to me. Jeez. And so for like a whole month I tried, and I eventually gave up. I was like, I'm just gonna go be a student at regular school. I had my money submitted to another school, and then one of the coaches from the old staff like sent me a text like out of nowhere. It was just like, hey, like I'm the coach at Juniata, like we'd love to have you for a visit. And came here, loved it, and then ended up coming, and it was one of the best decisions I've made. Absolutely love it here, and started my first game here as a freshman. So it was pretty crazy jump going from in like 2 years JV to college. Starting college, and I played in every game that I've been able to have here. COVID kind of screwed up sophomore year, but it was pretty quick turnaround.
That's awesome. That's impressive. That's a cool story. Alex, how'd you end up kicking?
So, different thing with you guys. This is only my 4th year ever playing football. So I started actually playing soccer in high school. My freshman year. Hey, I was pretty good. So can't really say much about that. But my freshman year I only played soccer, and then my freshman year I also managed basketball. And my sophomore year, one of the assistant coaches on the basketball team was also the assistant coach on the JV football team. And he knew that I played soccer, and the JV team was looking for a kicker at the time. So he kind of texted me, asked, hey, Alex, we don't have a kicker for the JV football team. Would you be interested in just coming out and trying it for a week or so and just seeing how you like it? So I took a few days, thought about it, and I was like, sure, why not? I'll try it. At this point, they were like, I think maybe had already had their scrimmage, so they were already into their season, and I was joining a bit late. But I went out the first time, and I was absolutely garbage. I could barely kick the ball through the uprights on a PAT.
Wow.
And it was a rough season. I didn't have a coach who knew how to kick, so I kind of just like learned on my own, and they kind of just gave me the basics of it, and I just had to figure out how to do things. And towards the end of the season, I was slightly better, but wasn't really much. And then after that, the COVID year hit. The spring of my sophomore year, I spent a lot of time just going out to a soccer field or any open field that I could, and I'd just be kicking footballs. I'd be kicking them over soccer nets, just pacing out the yardage, just seeing how far I could get, how high I could get the ball. And by the time my junior season came around, I was able to hit relatively decent 35, 40 yarders without having as much struggle of getting the distance. Only had one game that season because more COVID caused it to cancel. And then my senior year, I really had to show out. Although at the start of the season, I had a really rough time. I actually didn't start for the first 3 games of my senior season. Someone started over me, and I struggled to just find my footing for the first few games. But by the end of the season, I was able to figure it out, kind of get my footing. Ended up going 5 for 6 on field goals, and I think 5 for 7 on PATs. And after that, kind of was looking around for college recruiting. That's what I kind of wanted to do. I wanted to go to college, play football, since I knew that soccer really wasn't my thing, and I had gotten cut my junior year due to some unforeseen circumstances with the soccer team. But I wasn't even looking at Juniata. I didn't even know what Juniata was until around December, around the end of December, where Coach Mears came and visited my school, and he kind of just talked with a bunch of players. And I mentioned to him that I was a kicker, and he said, at this moment we have a kicker, but we're not sure what his standing's going to be, so we'll get back to you about any sort of things that come up. So I was like kind of on the coach's radar, but not at the same time. And then I actually almost committed to another school, but when I went to visit them, the head coach had wanted me to go there, but the recruiting coach apparently wasn't reading my emails. And when I went to visit, he didn't even know who I was. So I went to him and I was like, Coach, I was asking to see if you were willing to offer me a roster spot. I had been talking with the head coach. He says he wants me. And he says, I have never even seen your film, even though I'd sent it to him 3 months prior in an email. So they look it over, and it was a 3-hour drive for me to go down there to meet with them. And it was a 10-minute meeting. So I was kind of bummed out, went back home, sent him all my stuff. He's talked to the special teams coach, and the next morning at around like 8:30 in the morning, I get an email saying we're not recruiting you. So that was like
bum school.
Wow. Yeah.
You want to name drop this school? Bunch of bums.
It was Salisbury University.
Bums. What the heck, man? Get better. Get good. I don't even care. I want the smoke. If I'm injured, I'll take all of you on. Y'all are bums. Messing with my boy Alex. Disrespectful.
Yeah, but
tagging this.
But that next morning it was really rough. Like I was very upset because that was like a school that I had been really looking forward to going to. I had worked hard to try to get into it. I got accepted, but the coach said no thanks. So that day it was pouring out rain, and I just was like upset and angry at the same time because the coach just took no consideration of what I had sent him. So I went out that day, and I just worked my butt off out on the field for about maybe like 4 hours in the pouring rain. And I was able to get my mind straight, kind of just like, that's probably one of the greatest times of progression that I'd had, just working out anger and sadness in my workouts. And it's like, I probably performed the best I ever have out on that time. But then about, I'd say a month later, I got an email from Coach Mears saying that the old kicker, Beckett, had decided to transfer out, and they needed a kicker. So I said, great, I'm still looking to be recruited, and he emailed me about having a visit. I came down maybe a few weeks later, had Hovis and all of 305 as my host. Very fun and interesting experience on my recruit visit.
Not podcast worthy.
Won't go into any details on that.
That was a wild night.
But all you guys treated me the best you probably could. Like I said, I've said numerous times, I greatly appreciated how you guys handled everything. That's the main reason why I chose to come here, is because you guys gave me an experience that I knew that I could trust the guys on the football team. And about maybe a month after my visit, it came down to a really hard decision between here and Ursinus, which was the other school that was recruiting me. And the big reason I chose it was because I knew that the guys on the football team were willing to take me in as a part of their family.
It's crazy you said it, because we actually thought we lost you after your
I remember you
after
saying
everything that like happened that night. Like we were like, oh my god, like we just fumbled the bag. Like we don't have a kicker. We were
snap
so
and kick.
Yeah, like dude, we were like we fumbled the bag so hard, and like we actually like went to the coach who was like, we told him like what had
You have
happened.
to tell me
and-
what the heck happened.
Yeah. Once the cameras are off, yeah,
Cut the
cameras are off. But yeah, we were like, oh my god, we lost the kid. But
Nah.
yeah, and then we were all like so hyped when we saw he committed. We're like, there's no way, like no way we got
It's
him.
like a half-court shot. Just
Yeah,
like full-court shot.
it was crazy.
Jeez, but yeah, so we're glad you're here too. Alex.
Yeah.
Just wrap this up. Thank you guys for hopping on.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys help make the content and pay the bill. Jeez, I still don't get
Gotta
paid
pay the
for
tuition
this.
somehow, right?
Somehow.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But just kind of wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. I don't know who we'll have on next. I have a few candidates, but we'll see who we have on next. But just make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. And as the special teams coach always says, Coach B, tip of the spear.
Always sharp.